Guys, it's still today, so Contrast, let's get right into it. Contrast was one of the games that I was most excited for the PS4 launch, just because it seemed different. Like it was doing something we hadn't yet seen before. You know, the idea of a puzzle platformer with a bit of a quirky edge to it. Okay, great. And I knew that right off the bat I was going to be inundated with, shooters and stuff like that. Like my launch titles were, as you know, Assassin's Creed 4 and Battlefield 4, as well as Black Knight Retribution, Warframe, and Resogun, which I knew I was getting those. And then Contrast was like the icing on the cake. So I knew that it would be something that would be important to me to have, just because it would be something other than boom, 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 shoot, 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 or R for Assassin's Creed. So, and it turned out to be just that. I mean, it is in every sense. It's a platformer with some puzzles. It's got a neat story. It's got this weird noir thing going for it. It tells a lot of the story through shadows and flashbacks, but they occur on like the surfaces of the wall. So like your cutscenes are going on as your most integral cutscenes. You're interacting with them sometimes because you're like jumping on shadows of things, like stories you're being told. It's quite interesting. The initial release was a lot buggier than the now patched release. A lot of it was like physics related and stuff. So if I had, gripes about the game, it was that some of the parts were unnecessarily difficult, not because the solution was unclear, but because executing the solution was far more difficult than it probably should have been. But I can say that most of the physics issues that I was having are all but gone. So if you're playing the game now, you're good. Early adopters, though, we kind of got screwed on that. I still haven't finished it. It's because it's one of those games that I'm relishing as I play it in little bits. I enjoy the story. You're playing this, as of the point in the story, that I am undefined character that can jump in and out of shadows at will, and probably is a shadow. And your little partner is this little girl whose family is very dysfunctional, and you're basically keeping the kid happy is what it boils down to. It's kind of weird. I don't want to go on too far in the story, but it is interesting. It's a lot of stuff. Oh my, this happened. I need to this. Can you this so that I can that? So there's a lot of logical kind of setup. And the game itself could be regarded as linear, although in places you can do things out of sequence and so forth. And so it's not open world, and it's not like linear in a more traditional platformer sense, but it is structured enough. You've always got room to explore any area you're in. Like, let's say that what you need to accomplish is here. You may have an area this big, but you only need to explore this small little area. There's collectibles everywhere, and people that like to find like hidden stuff are going to love this game. And it rewards skill, rewards creativity very well. It's a lot of fun, I find. I think the main reason I'm going to tell you that I like it is because it is difficult to describe beyond calling any puzzle platformer and stuff. And it isn't just you go into a room and you have to figure out what angle to go from. You have to move stuff around, flip switches, experiment with different shadow configurations to get where you want to go. I know that there were several spots where there was a way that they thought you should do it, and then I guarantee that whatever I did wasn't what they intended. So there's enough flexibility there. And I've had fun talking with friends that have played it. Like, how did you do this room? Oh, I didn't even think of that. So it has the potential to be a water cooler kind of game. Because of the way the game is structured, it does lend itself also to pick up and play. for short periods of time. Like, you don't feel compelled to sit down and finish the whole thing. So this is a really good game for when you're frustrated at something else and you want to just kind of play something that's just different and kind of makes you feel good. So, if you haven't played it yet, don't waste your time waiting to play it. Just play it. It's a lot of fun. I've heard that the PC version is quite good as well, or the PS3 version is quite good. I'm obviously talking about the PS4 version. It's just a good game. Even if you didn't get it for free, I would still say buy it. I think it's a good experience overall. Scale of 1 to 10, we're going to go... This one we're going to go 7 out of 10. Just because it's one of those games that sits on the shelf and it's fairly unique, it's enjoyable, but there's some undefinable thing missing. Like, I'm not sure what it needs to make that extra leap. I think the storytelling is a little bit, like, although the approach is unique and I enjoy it very much, you know, every puzzle is set up the same way. Oh, in other words, like the little girl that you're helping out, she's kind of in a way narrating the story because your character don't talk. So she sets up the puzzles the same way. Oh my, this happened. If you do this, maybe I can this. And, you know, little bitch never fucking helps you. You're always helping her. You know, like, if she can get in somewhere but you can't, tough shit. She's going to go in where she's going to go and say, I'm waiting. Like, she's not rude about it, but that's kind of the impression I get. I'm like, fuck you. I'm like, I'm helping you with all this shit. The least you can do, because a lot of this stuff is funny. Because there's some stuff that if she would be useful as an NPC, these puzzles would be easier. But again, yeah, it wouldn't be a puzzle. But I think that there's some lost opportunity with co-op. I think there's some lost opportunity with complexity of puzzle. I think that if they take what they've done and expand upon it in a sequel or an expansion pack of some kind, could really be something special. It's not quite there. It's very good, very enjoyable, worth your time, worth your money, but not quite where it potentially could lead. So I hope that the developers get off their butts and do another one. So, there you go. 7 out of 10. Freaking Contrast. Love it. But there you go. There's my review. Not terribly long, but again, there's only so much you can say. I would go so far as to say that, again, because I have such a hard time describing it, that does tell you that it's something that I really can't compare it to anything else. So if you're looking for something different, it's definitely worth your time. Check it out. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. And as always, keep on grinding.